What's up, Tipsies? This is Twyla's Tipsy Travels, and this is another installment of The Bachelorette Round, Brown, and Abroad edition. Okay, so again, there's going to be a lot of stuff that I can't remember because at least, in Scotland it was like one date, then some, gap, another date, gap, whatever. Well, first of all, with the Romanian, it was just basically it turned into almost like friendship, hanging out, and also with my French friend. Make it easier, we're going to call her Bernadette. Bernie. We're going to call her Bernie. With Bernie was hanging out with us, so it was turned into more like a group thing. So, of hanging out and stuff. Travelers, solo travelers, all meeting and hanging out so that we don't have to eat alone and things like that. So, there was another incident with texting with the Hipster, and it was just more of we are not seeing eye to eye. And then Bernie is like, her job is, communication and analyzing people and behaviors and how to handle things, and so she was really good at it. And she's like, oh no, you shouldn't have texted that. You should have texted that. He was focused on this part when you really wanted him to be focused on this part. So I'm like, dang it. But, so I realized where I went wrong there, not saying that I wanted to still be with him, but that I went wrong with my message. Like, he came back with the whole, I was upset that you mentioned my age, or whatever, and I didn't have that much to drink or whatever, and, I was trying to celebrate a friend's birthday and this, that, and the other, and instead of me focusing on what really mattered is that you chose free drinks. Like, the day started at 12:30 and he almost went 12 hours, hanging out. The point is that you chose getting annihilated and free drinks over spending time with me, who you had just said you wanted exclusivity with. That doesn't make any sense. Your actions are not matching your words, and we need actions to match words, okay? So, so basically, but instead of saying that, I'm like, all roundabout, and then how was I supposed to know that there wasn't that much alcohol in that drink, and blah, blah, blah. All I know is that, in the past, I had drank and drive as like a 20-something, and it was stupid and reckless. I don't do that anymore. I'm 42, gonna be 43 years old. I don't do that anymore. And I haven't done that in decades because, I'm like, you can't, it's just not smart. Either you don't drink, you drink a little and then you drink some water, or you get a cab or something, or you have your friend drive, you got a designated driver, something, but you don't drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drive. And so anyway, that turned into a thing. He only focused on that part versus the other part saying, you're not spending any time with me, and a man will treat you how he feels about you. You're not treating me how you say you feel about me, so then you don't really feel that way. So, but that just went right over his head. So anyway, that is that. And then he just said, well, you see it one way and I see it another. I just gave him the little brown-handed thumbs up, and that was it. I'm like, I'm done talking to you. So with the Romanian, I can't remember specifics leading up to his last full day and then his last half day. But all I know is that there were nights that we went, had drinks, also had dinner, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't too bad. He still worked a nerve. And me and Bernie were like, this man, I can't. And then it was hard, like, it's hard to ditch someone on an island in a town that this is the biggest city on the island, but it's still not that big. And there's like main spots that everyone hangs out at. You can't really escape it, so it's kind of hard to dodge somebody, to ditch somebody, to ghost somebody on an island. So at any moment, someone could walk around and see you. I saw the Hipster when we were actually still seeing each other. I saw him with his homies. I walked around the corner and was like, oh snap. You know, I saw him and his homies. So you can roll up on somebody. Anyway, long story short. So we couldn't ditch him, even when he worked our nerves. He had his good moments. He's a Gemini, the twin. And he showed that. Where on one side he was a decent dude, could be respectful, could be sometimes considerate. And then on the other side, he was a jerk. He had slightly bigoted thoughts about certain cultures or whatnot, and we were always like, dude, what? To be so well traveled, you kind of are really small-minded. And then he also, but then on the one hand, he was like, you know, really like cultured about like the foods and certain places to go in the world. It was just bizarre. And then so he's a jerk. Sometimes he was the Archie Bunker. Sometimes he was, and he was a big man baby. Oh my God, was he a big man baby? He whined a lot. And okay, so on his last full day, it was the Portugal day. It was Friday. No, sorry, Thursday. It was Thursday. So there was a very small military parade where, you know, some members of each branch of the military walked by, and then also the president of Portugal came through. I ain't never seen a United States president up close and personal in my 42 years of life. But I'm here for a month, and I see the president of Portugal like a few feet away, hugging a baby. The president. Like what? Anyway, so he first starts irritating us with everyone in the crowd is wearing a mask. He has his mask on, but he has it under his chin. And Bernie was like, put your mask on. And I'm outside, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, put your mask on. Because one thing we realized is being the sole black person on the island standing there, guess who the cameras were going to be on? Me, to show diversity in the crowd. So at one point the camera was directly on me and those around me. And Bernie was like, I don't want to be in a crowd with him. And he's not wearing a mask. He's the only one. And it's like, so that started it. Then when afterwards we walked over to get some coffee and then we're considering lunch, and I don't know, it took too long to consider. Bernie was getting irritated. She was on her lunch break because she was working remotely. And then he's like saying, oh, take a shot. You don't have to go to work. Call off. Call in sick. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, she is responsible for like 60 people. Are you slow or something? And he would do this almost every day. Would you leave her alone with your pushy behind? So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go. And I told her, I'm so sorry you didn't get to eat lunch. And she's like, I'm sorry too. So she goes. Then he and I eventually leave. And I said that he had something to do because it was his last day. I had something to do, or just wanted to be away from him or whatever. And then we go down and we start walking towards my place where we're gonna split off. And Bernie is sitting there eating at a restaurant just below her flat. And it was just like, but she had already told me, I can't be around him any longer. He is driving me nuts. And I said, I completely understand. So I don't know if he got the hint, but it's like, dude, you need to stop. So then after that, I had lunch. Then I went to our little Poncha hangout spot on the corner, and she came over with her laptop and did a little more work while I had some ponchas and she had, non-alcoholic drink. And then we're just like, what are we gonna do? Let's go to the watering hole. And it's like, yeah. And just like, should we go before him? Because he's like, what's the plan? It's like, can we go before him? So we can have an hour without him there. But it didn't end up turning out that way. We met up at 6. I'm walking to the place and he messages me and he's like, there's nowhere to sit. It's completely packed. Where should we go? We could go somewhere else. And I'm like, what? Then he called and he's like, I'm in the parking lot. I'm standing in the parking lot before you get to it. And I said, okay, I'll be there literally in just a moment. I walk around the corner. He's almost in the corner, by the bushes in the parking lot, hiding. What is wrong with you? This place, mind you, it is very intimidating when you walk up in there by yourself, especially if you haven't been there before. He'd been there before though. But, it can be intimidating because there's just people everywhere, either half dressed or in bathing suits, whatever. It's a bunch of locals because that's kind of their hangout spot where they can swim and have drinks and some cheap food and drinks and whatnot. And it's almost like a meat market. When you walk in, everybody's assessing you. But then when you're sitting down, you assess everybody who walk in too. So anyway, I'm like, what the hell is wrong? Boy, if you don't come on. I said, come on. Okay, there's no seats. So you go up to the bar, you get a beer, and you drink until somebody gets up. Someone is always getting up from that place. We walk around the corner. Yes, it is packed, because he's like, you'll see, it's packed. We get around the corner. It's like, okay, it's not any more packed than it normally is. And then literally a second later, a table becomes available. And I go, see? So then we sit down. We're eating whatever. Bernie shows up. Then I've been wanting to go back to this lovely restaurant that we went to. I will try to showcase all the food in a future video. But I want to go to this lovely restaurant because there's something on the menu that I've been wanting to eat again, or eat, and I only got a sample of before. And so me and Bernie are like, that place, got it. And he goes, well, we should do something fancy. There's this one place that I heard is called Mozart, blah, blah, blah. Let me pull up the Fork app, which Fork, you can get discounts at really nice restaurants. So he gets on there and he's just like, yes, I just really like going and fancy and blah, 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 and how this has a Michelin star. And he's like, and then he's flipping through the restaurants. He's like, Michelin, 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 Michelin. And I'm like, if he says Michelin one more dang time. And she messaged me, she texted me and she said, if he says fancy one time, we're like, ugh, we just said where we wanted to go. And then he's like, it's okay, we can do whatever you want. But look at all these places. It's like, but it's your last night? Fine. Let's go where you want to go. The place we went to was fun, or not fun, but it was good. I had duck for the first time. It was delicious. But then we're sitting there. Now we had said, kind of, debated when we were going to go to the restaurant from the watering hole. Me and Bernie said 8:30. He said 9. Everything closes at 11. 11 is the curfew here. And it's just like, if we go at 9, you get there at 9, you don't order till like 9:15, 9:30. Food doesn't come out till nearly 10. Like, you're really pushing our dining experience. And so we said, no, let's go now, or let's go at 8 or 8:30. We finally set it for 8:30. That's kind of, a happy medium. So then we're sitting there. Bernie gets up and goes to the bathroom. And I said, oh, look, dinner's like done. And I go, oh gosh, it's almost 11 o'clock. We don't have any time to go anywhere else. And he's like, that's why I wanted to stay till 9. And he's just like, because we could have drank for a while, and then went to dinner. And he's like, I always think it's best to do drinks before dinner. And I literally heard a record scratch in my head, because when I snapped on him that very first time after our second day of hanging out and he had met Bernie, I was like, we were going back and forth about whether you should drink first, then eat. And he's like, you should eat first, then drink. And I said, well, no, we want to drink first, then eat. Well, that's not the way I do it. You're supposed to eat first, then drink. And I said, well, we are grown women. We've already decided what we're going to do. We're going to drink first. So now all of a sudden he's like, you need to drink first, then eat. And I go, that's not what you said before. I said, we had a whole argument about this. And he's like, well, that was because we met up at 6. I said, we met up at 6 this time. There's no difference. You said, eat first, then drink. And you pushed it. And he's like, no, I didn't. I didn't say that. It's the reverse. You got it wrong. I'm like, I said, boy, I will pull up the text message right now and show you. Don't you tell me what you said and what, I was like, I snapped on him. And then this is what he does. Pouting and refusing to talk to me or look at me. He had done this before that I didn't mention in the one video because I was trying to give him a pass. The very first date, see, I should have known the very first date, but the very first date when we were at dinner, the waiter comes up and he's going to put the white tablecloth on the table. I lift my drink so that he can put it down, and I gestured to the Romanian like, hey, you need to move your drink. Now, I don't know if he didn't see me or if he was ignoring me as if like, that's his job. He needs to, I don't know if that's what he was doing, but all I know is that he didn't move his drink. The waiter had to also move his drink and one-handed put the tablecloth down. And the waiter said, maybe he's not strong enough to lift it. I died. I started laughing because that's what you get. I started laughing, and then that's when he did that. Not speaking until like the waiter walked away. Like this. So Thursday night, Thursday night, he does that. He does the not speaking to me. And then I got up and went to the bathroom when Bernie came back, and as soon as I got up, he started talking. And then come to find out when I was in the bathroom, he said, if it was just us two, talking to Bernie, if it was just us two, we could have went hiking and had coffee and blah, blah, blah. But we couldn't go because of her. Look here, mother. You can go hiking. Go. Bye. Didn't nobody ask you. If that's what you wanted to do on your last day, that's what you could have went and did. You didn't need us. So his negativity weighed on us so much that even me and Bernie started bickering. Like that negativity just oozed onto us. Like this mofo. Oh, we were just so through. And then at one point during dinner, her and I are texting each other. We're sitting right next to each other and we're texting each other. It's like, oh my God. So Thursday was his last full day. Friday, he had like a half a day. Friday was also Bernie's last full day. So she didn't want to have anything to do with him. She was done. She's like, please, because he was talking about, let's go have lunch. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't even want to deal with you, fool. And she's saying, I don't want to deal with you, fool. And so her and I, after we split, her and I were texting back and forth, and she's like, can we please just have lunch alone? Like, I don't want him dragging down my day, because you don't know what mood he's going to be in. Is he going to be the happy Gemini, or is he going to be the pissy Gemini? We don't know which mood he's going to be in. And so, and then he can go from happy to pissy, or pissy to happy. It's like you don't know whether you're coming and going. It's way too much. It's way too stressful. Before, when we had our one homie with us, before he left to go to Mexico, it was so relaxing. We all had the same energy. This fool, his energy was just so, he was exhausting. A child. He was like a toddler. You know how a toddler's like, that was him. Oh my God. So I told him, and then he also was like, I want to go to lunch at 1:30. And Bernie was like, I have work. I can't go at 1:30. I need to go at noon. And so I'm like, you go ahead and eat at 1:30. We're eating at noon. And then she had been asking me to go with her makeup shopping, because she doesn't wear makeup at all other than just like some mascara. That's it. And so she was, like, I've been wanting you to go makeup shopping with me. And I said, we will do that. Well, we don't want him coming. All he was going to do is stand there like this, like, okay, ladies, like, hurry up, because he's done that. Anyway, I know this is running long, and I'm sorry, but hopefully y'all are there snapping with me. So I message him, and I say, because he's just like, you had lunch yet? And we were just sitting down to have lunch. And she's like, message him and tell him, yeah, we're at, and then she thought about it. We both looked at him, no, because he'll show up. So I just told him, already had lunch. Well, I waited until my meal was done. Said, already had lunch. Something came up. I'm busy, so I don't have time to, see you before your flight. Have a safe journey home. That's what I put. And he said, thanks. So we're sitting there. We're eating. Now, we had told him about 2 fancy restaurants that have great lunch specials. So what did he do? He ended up showing up at that one that we were at. He didn't know, but he showed up there. And it was like, oh man, that's why this island is small. He showed up and he's like, oh, I just put in a reservation here. And we were just finishing up. We were just about to pay the bill. And he's all, and then I think it, like, at first he's like, oh, hey. And he's just like, oh, I just made a reservation here. And then it clicked, like, these bees that left me. Speaking of bees, he kept saying, be please to me all the time. Be please. And he said it again the previous night. And I said, you call me a bee one more time, and I'm going to take this fork and I'm going to stab you in your eye. I said it just like that. And he's just like, I'm just joking. I said, I will stab you with this fork. And he's like, okay. He always did it under the guise of a joke, guise of being funny, but I had had enough. So then, he's mad. He's furious at lunch that we went without him. But again, it doesn't matter what came up that made me busy. You are not invited. That's just the end of that. That's it. That's all. It doesn't matter if what came up was with someone that you considered a friend also. She can't stand you, but I can't help that that's, that you thought that you could be entitled to our time. I'm sorry, but you're not entitled to our time. So, And you're not gonna drag us down. This is her last full day, and she don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want you bringing us down on her last day. So please, no, you eat by yourself and then you bounce. We're gonna go do girly things that you're gonna complain about the whole time. So then I wanted to buy something for my aunt and uncle, so I went shopping, and she came with me, and then we went to a makeup place, and she got, you know, makeup and everything, and it was super fun because, oh, there was this gorgeous gay guy that helped us. Oh my God, he was like the Portuguese George Michael. I don't know, he had this short, even, like trimmed to perfection beard, these beautiful shapely lips when he showed us his face. His lips, because he was saying that he wanted full lips like mine. I'm like, boy, your lips is full and shapely and beautiful. And he had gorgeous eyes with these long eyelashes with mascara on it, and his makeup was beat to perfection, and he had the little highlight. Oh, killing me softly. He was gorgeous. Like, oh, I want to be your friend. But anyway, he was great. We had a great time. But homeboy would have been irritated the whole entire time. Can we go, ladies? Blah blah blah. So it was truly lovely without him bringing us down. So, dude, if you ever come across this, I'm sorry, but we had girl things to do that we didn't want to share with you because you bring people down, and you wouldn't have wanted to do it anyway. Stop being so selfish. So anyway, as you can see, he ticked me off. You gonna call me a B? You gonna call me a B? You didn't talk smack. You didn't talk smack about Asians, Eastern and Southwestern. You didn't talk about well, not really LGBT, but still just a little bit. Like a comment he made, I'm like, we both were like, He was a lot. And then he was upset because Western and Central European countries look down their nose at him because he's Eastern European. Because Eastern Europeans are treated exactly like how Mexicans or immigrants are treated in the US. Like people looking down their nose at them like, how dare you come to my country and take my jobs when it's the jobs that don't nobody want. And we need them desperately. And so he was trying to say the same thing, like that's how people treat him. And while, yeah, they probably do, and that's what like Brexit was about. Like they were trying to keep out like Eastern European immigrants. And so I'm like, I get it. I get that. But dude, like I'm black from America, one of the most racist countries in the world. And I could walk around with a chip on my shoulder with a wall up of hardness, like I'm so tough, and down every single white person, but I don't. Only time I talk smack about somebody white is when they do some garbage, some racist garbage. Other than that, you gotta like give people leeway to, you know, like you can be leery of people, but you don't have to like instantly be like, I don't like you because you are said group. What? And that's not even the mindset of a traveler. Like, dude, what is wrong with you? Anyway, and then I also think him hiding in the parking lot, he is extraordinarily intimidated by dudes. Extraordinarily. And he was comfortable hanging out with us because we were women. Because what he might think, because he was a little bit of a male chauvinist too. Ooh, so I think he might think we're a little below him so he could feel better. But like he's this short dude and he doesn't consider himself that attractive. And so there's all these handsome, tan, tall men, and he was like reduced to a little boy hiding in a corner. That's a lot. That's just too much. Anyway, this video has gone on long enough. He's gone now. Thank God. And yeah. And also, Bernie's gone. She left just a little bit ago. And so now it's just me, myself, and I. I made some more matches on Tinder. Don't know if they're going to go anywhere. So I'm here for another 18 days. And so it's either going to be me, myself, and I, and quality me time that I have not had since I got here. Or I might meet some new friends or a new guy. I don't know. I take it as the days come. I'm staying open to all the possibilities. And that's all you can do. So, sorry for rambling on, but hopefully it was entertaining. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit subscribe and then hit the bell to get notifications every time I upload a new video. And as always, I love you guys. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Mwah!